Oh, baby, rip him off his record dog time. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. There's the button I want.
That conglomeration. That's amazing.
Kids.
I just started watching that movie the other night.
What, Mortal Kombat? Oh, no. Let's not even go there yet.
Don't upset James.
I can no longer be upset about Mortal Kombat. I'm good. I'm over it.
James, I had to keep stopping Jack from saying obnoxious things. He is my child.
What was he going to say?
Can of worms.
James doesn't like anything.
That's not true. I like plenty of things. Jack only likes it because he doesn't know the rest of the story.
And I think that's their target.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
I heard that the actor that played Sub-Zero signed on for four more of those movies.
But you know what?
This is going to be the Fast and Furious all over again.
Maybe they're going to, you don't know. They could be a revamping in the middle of that. You know, maybe they realize.
Kind of felt like the Avengers for a minute in the middle there, like when they all came together and they're like, you know, all right, you break out, and then they could like go to the pit scene and the other scene, and like everyone, like it was just like the edits were like bang, 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 stuff was happening.
Right. Yeah.
So you know what they have to do to make it better? As far as I'm concerned, they have the second movie to hook me, and that's going to be it. If the second one's not good, I won't watch any of the other ones. But you know how they rebooted the video game series around Mortal Kombat 9? Mortal Kombat 9 is a retelling of Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 wrapped in one package.
Right.
So if they do that and the second movie is basically that where they retell the first and second games, then we're good.
They could pull an Evil Dead 2 or they just reboot it, you know?
Twice.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that?
What are you looking at?
Oh, Christy came down.
Hi.
Oh. Hi.
But if they do that,
yeah, she wants to come on, sure.
Go on,
if they do that, then we're in good shape with the Mortal Kombat sequel.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, boys and girls,
Anyway.
girls and boys, we're going to talk about music and cool things today, as we always do. But first, because we missed it last week.
DJ Rob.
That's right. It's that time, kids, where we ask ourselves, what are we drinking? What do we got?
I'll go first.
Oh, sorry. Go for it, James.
No, you had it. You lifted your glass first.
I got it. All right. I got tea. Chrysanthemum tea. So really good.
Chrysanthemum. That's a flower.
Yeah, it is. It's tasty.
Interesting. What does that taste like?
It's got like a floral. It's like sweet, but not like that, like sugary sweet. Kind of like almost like a rose petal in the sense, you know, has that sweetness to it, but not overbearing. It's nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good. I have Breckenridge Rum Cask, and that's all I have to say about that. It's delicious.
It's delicious.
Is he a soccer player?
Huh?
Isn't he a soccer player?
Breckenridge?
Oh, Beckham. I misheard you.
Oh, no, Breckenridge, Colorado.
So I drank a whole can of this earlier, as you can tell by my insanity.
Maniac. Nice.
I've tried the blue, 0 sugar, and the orange, 0 sugar, and those are exponentially better than the sugar-infused pineapple coconut. That one.
They taste better. You're saying they taste better.
The sugarless.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, this is the one that's by The Rock, right? He's behind this one?
Yep. Yeah, those are just disgustingly sweet. This has things that are good for you inside of it. It has all your amino acids. It has camu electrolytes. Camu. And I'm just drinking water now because time to come down.
Just because I'm going to crash hard.
Yeah.
Hey, who plays the bass in the Crazy Blue Eyes in that album song?
That's James, right?
That's you, James?
Yeah.
Oh, real chunk.
On that version of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So that song started as I had an assignment in college where I had to take the format of a song and write a song using those, like that structure. So the thing that it was a Ryan Adams song, and I changed it entirely. And then the demo of it sounds very different than that. And then we recorded it with Drew singing and me singing and Tony singing for a second. It was stupid. But then this version that I use for everything, James did, you know, the guitars, he programmed the drums, he played the bass, and I just played guitars as well.
Whoa, the duo. Nice.
Yeah, just an instrumental version. It was a great song. I need someone with a good voice to sing that hook because the hook would just take it to another level. But yeah, no.
That's a really good. I love that because it's one of those like really really high energy songs that we did.
Dude, I played
awesome.
it when I interviewed Phil X when it came on the other side from the we come back live after the countdown. He's like playing on the and I'm like, he's like, I'm sorry, I was rocking out to your song. I'm like, all right, we're done. That's cool.
It.
Yeah, I need nothing.
You know,
You're like,
sorry,
George Seinfeld, I'm tapping out. It's time to go. And then
after that hired gun thing, Phil X was like, like if somebody calls me up and wants me to play on something, if they're just a cool person and I like them, I'll just do it. So you should just be like, yo, you want to play a solo on that?
Dude, like he put me in contact with his pickup guy, so I'm trying to fully over time nurture that.
Nurture that.
Custom pickup dude, or
he's a signature line through Arcane Pickups, and he has a
okay,
really sweet P90 because he's a P90 guy, and I've been very much in love with this guy recently. But
I remember you saying that
the P90s to some Phil X P90s would be cool.
That's awesome. Cool beans.
All right. Oh Jesus!
Oh,
it should be this one,
gentlemen. Let's broaden our mind.
I had there's like a
Michael Bolton is never a good lead-in.
because there's buttons I press. You can't see them, I don't think, but
How could I?
There's scenes, and I have to scroll to different scenes to get to different things. And where the Michael Bolton button left over from the Love episode in February, because I haven't updated the samples in forever because the website shut down, is the broaden your mind as well. So yeah. Anyway, so we're talking about Florence Welch and the Machines, eh?
Florence and the Machine, or as Rob called it, Florence and the Lungs. Which Lungs is the album released in 2009. Florence and the Machine is the band that we're talking about today. Florence and the Lungs.
So this was 2009.
2009. So you want to wrap your head around something before we get into it. Like, think about how powerful she sings. Think about the lyrical content that she sings about in this, and how she writes. She's 23 years old when this comes out.
Oh wow, she looks a lot older than that then.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does look a little bit older. So yeah, it's Florence and the Machine. Here, where are you?
I see her lungs.
Yeah. And the deluxe album with the 2 discs, where it had a whole bunch of extras and demos and live stuff, which was pretty cool. Cover of Addicted to Love.
I heard that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great album though. Little English indie rock band.
It's my first time they came onto my scope was, I guess it was the time of this album, but I didn't know it because the lead track there, the Dog Days Are Over. It was I was telling James this the other day. It was in a trailer for maybe it was Eat, Pray, Love. It was a Julia Roberts movie, and it was just it was probably a verse and a chorus of the song, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. But then I didn't go any deeper. I didn't know her voice. Her voice, I don't know, it didn't stick with me. But then fast forward later on, she sang on a dance song. Some EDM person used her voice. Do you remember what that was?
I don't know.
All right, let's just our producer
do some digging
while you explain this album.
I didn't get to dig in as much. I had a very, very bizarre week at work between the end of last week and so far this week. So it was just kind of something that I always had on and I was listening to while I was working.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get to see like time periods and things like that. That's why when you say 2009, I'm kind of caught off guard because everything that I really heard in this told me, don't laugh, told me like early 90s, late 80s.
Oh, really?
Really? Because there was 1 or 2 new wave artists that I listened to from the 80s and even like early 80s. And I would have sworn this was that band.
Really?
Like just, it was wild to me. Like how much
I'd like to know.
I'll have to dig them up for you. It just caught me for a loop. Like the way her voice was and the music and it just reminded me of that so much. And then like I got like Jefferson Airplane out of it too, to a large degrure.
Really?
Yeah.
Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah, it was really like I heard all kinds of weird stuff in it, and not being able to devote the time to it, unfortunately. That's all I could really pull from it was like this is older than I think it is, and I wasn't expecting it. And now you're telling me that it's a lot newer than I thought, which is very surprising to me.
Now I have a question before we go into this detail. Now, this is our first album.
Yeah, debut album.
Spit everywhere. have they released in the time since? Because there's 4 albums after this one.
Mhm.
Was this their peak, or have they gone upward? Because the EDM song she was on was with Calvin Harris. It was called "Sweet Nothing." It's a big song.
I did
That
not know that
song,
one.
just her, 3 times platinum. In America, globally platinum, 2 times platinum, number 1 on the charts in UK, number 10 on the charts in the US. So this was a huge song. Sweet. If you heard it, you might know it. I mean, it was
I gotta listen to it. Yeah, too bad I can't play a clip of it because I bet you
I
if I heard
know,
it, I would
It
know
was
it. Yeah.
2012, this song. So it was after they blew up from this album. And I'm curious, like, what is their arc after this record?
So they have Lungs is in 2009, the one we're talking about today. You have Ceremonials in 2011, then How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful in 2015, and then High as Hope 2018. I mean, I equate her to some of those old time artists like Nails. Some of the old artists like didn't feel rushed to have to put something out right away. So you could see those gaps in between those albums from 2009 to 2011, from 2015, 2018. They're all great albums, and I don't think there's a peak. I think this one just produced a lot of singles. I think it just hit the States, differently. But like some of her other, like her most recent singles have been played in rotation quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a peak. I don't know. It's one of those artists too, where it's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's a peak. I don't know. I'm kind of jaded that way because I mean I enjoy the band. So it's like if you were to say like, oh, is Downward Spiral the peak of Nails? I guess somebody can arguably say yes, but like then you had With Teeth came back with such ferocity that like, well, I don't know. Like, and yet the Fragile was immense. So it's like I don't know that it's a peak. I think that he reinvents himself so many times that you're looking at a different iteration of who he is. I feel the same way about her and the band, is they come at you. There is a strand of DNA that's obviously like, oh, that's the Florence sound, oh, that's Nail's sound, that is Iron Maiden sound, but like there's reinvention there. So I couldn't say that it peaked. I wouldn't agree that they peaked with this album for sure.
You know what she reminds me of a little bit too, in her just in my limited knowledge of it, Tori Amos a little bit maybe.
Oh yeah, I could see that vibe in there. Yeah. It's to me like this album in particular is like being in a really amazing literature class where you have a very engaging teacher and professor that is just engaging. You just, even if you're not a lit major, even if you're not into lit, they can make the content fun because like some of the lyrics that she writes are tips of the hat. 2 things in literature, she just has a way of writing and a flow in which she sings, and you're just like, damn, I feel like I'm sitting down in this energized class that's ready to like just break apart and just come together. It's amazing. It's a great album. I always feel energized when I listen to it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, a lot of heart.
I feel like this was a tough one for me because I feel like so much of what is going on in the record and in the songs, I can't get by doing my music thing that I do. I have to read the lyrics. That's I feel like where
not a lot of guitar.
there's not a lot of guitar. There's the rhythm section is very, very stripped down as far as I could ascertain from the whole thing. So the weight of her voice and the lyrical content are like 80+% of what's going on in each track. Not to take away from the music element that's happening there.
Yeah.
But it's clearly there's more going on lyrically here, and that's what's really carrying some of these pieces, I think.
Now, is she? Because I looked on the internet here. What is? Oh God!
Good lordy!
These bars, man, they get those little flakes of
like coconut flakes.
No, it's like coconut flake, but it's like the stupid flakes of like oatmeal they stick on top of it. Like,
oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they get caught right in the back,
right in the air sucker. So, what is the lineup of this band? Because I don't have a physical version of the record.
Yeah, so for this album, I mean, I'm just gonna name the 5 main people that are involved with it. Yeah, because there is just like when you have additional members, it's like User Illusions, where there's just endless musicians involved with this.
Yeah, the liner
but
notes are crazy.
Yeah, Florence Welsh doing vocals. She does the additional drumming and percussion. She does some background vocaling where it's almost like she's a choir of her own. You have Christopher Lloyd Hayden on drums for many of the tracks. Isabella Summers is doing the additional drumming, percussion, piano. So yeah, you can get a feel for this. There's a lot of percussion. Rob Aykroyd on guitars and bass guitar, and then Tom Monger on harp. So it's very harp rhythm heavy in the sense of like drums and percussive instruments. Not a lot of guitar. When the guitar is used, though, it does stand out. That's for sure.
Mm.
I think you hit it on the head, though, James. When you're talking about like it's very stripped down. You have these songs that are built upon like the harp or the drums, and then it's really her voice that creates the harmony and everything else that comes together. So it almost forces you, if you don't listen, if you're someone that doesn't listen to lyrics, you're gonna find yourself doing it.
Yeah.
Is she the primary writer? Is it her? I know it's her name is in the band name, but is she the Trent of this project, or is it truly a band with those members?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the history of her and Isabella, which I think I forget the whole story.
Isabella Machine.
Yeah, thank you. The writing partners. So I think she does write a lot, but like there's numerous songs on here that have not just solely written by her. It does work almost like Blind Melon, where it's just like everybody has their part, and provides really interesting stuff.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Does the personnel stay consistent from record to record, or?
It's a great question. Let's see.
It seems as though that there are Florence, Isabella, Robert, and Tom have been in the band from 07 constant, but then Cyrus, Aku, Dion, Hazel.
Yeah, Christopher, Isabella, Robert
from onward. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some ex-members. There's someone, Christopher, drum and guitar from 07 to 18. So it looks like there was a core from 07 onward, and then in 17, 18 there was some changeover where some people changed out.
Yeah.
For my quick
See, this is one of those bands. It's weird. One of those bands where like I don't necessarily pay attention to each of the members, which is odd. Normally I do. I don't know why. Every once in a while it'll happen. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
I think that might actually all be tied together, that the focus is the lyricist. Like she's what you pay attention to. So everything else is kind of in the background.
You know what? I'm sorry to interrupt you, James. So this is like so 09. They remind me of, damn it, what's that band called? They won, talking the microphone. They just won a bunch of Grammys one year, and then they kind of stopped being a big deal, but they probably still are within their community. But it was like, they look like dirty hipsters. Like they look like they smelled. Damn it, what are they called?
Sounds great.
Yeah, right. Really narrowing that down.
You have song titles or anything like that?
No, because I couldn't hear on the songs. Let's see.
It was just in the news today or yesterday that Florence is going to be doing composing the music to the musical for The Great Gatsby. I think it is
another one,
a musical. So I don't know if it's going to be done on TV or so much as Broadway or off Broadway. I don't know. I just saw it. I didn't read the article, but I saw that she's going to be tied to that the composition of it.
Something I could say about music in general as of late is I don't own this album, so I listened to it on YouTube, and throughout the entire process of listening to the playlist that I had cultivated for listening to it, YouTube was very, very greedy. And that may have influenced my feelings on this record somewhat, because I couldn't pay attention to it because all I got was ad upon ad upon ad upon ad.
I must have found
and
a
listening
pretty good playlist that didn't have that.
Listening to it was very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Arcade Fire is the band I'm talking.
Arcade Fire.
Okay.
Just like this collective of like stinky hippies, Not saying
really get that out from them, but
if you saw what this band looked like, because I have this vivid memory of that when they won all these Grammys and they like finished playing and they went up and just announcing that they won, and then they went up and just did another song, like impromptu, just another random performance, which hadn't been done. But I think like the whole like flowy, like Stevie Nicks kind of imagery when I think of what this band looks like the gypsy, baroque, dark, creepy.
Which is
70s.
funny. Yeah, they've been known to be tagged baroque pop, Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that connection there. Easily.
Well, since this is new for you guys, I mean, do you have some favorite tracks? Or there's certain tracks that kind of hit you more, and like, I mean, where do you want to jump in with this kind of?
Dog days are over.
It's a great opener, man. I mean, name another song that kicks in with such power and contains a harp-heavy presence. I mean, they're far and few between. Cool. You're like, holy crap. We actually discussed this exact song and the lyrical content during the songwriting course during the virtual camp last summer. This is the one I brought to as the first track that I introduced to the kids, adults, whoever came. It's a mixed bag of everybody.
People are like, why do you keep calling him Brian? His name says B. I'm confused.
Who said that?
There's a couple people.
I don't see any comments. How are you seeing comments?
Not here at the.
Oh.
During the
What?
thingy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's a great song. It's cool because it's such an interesting way in which she speaks about happiness here. Like it hit her like a train, sudden, unexpected, and some force. Like you don't, and you almost think that she's talking about like something bad. Like she's just not used to this novel feeling of happiness. Happiness hit her like a train on a track coming towards her, stuck, still no turning back. She hit around corners and she hid under beds. She killed it with kisses, and from it she fled. With every bubble she sank with a drink and washed it away down the kitchen sink. So it's like she doesn't even know what to do with this happiness. She's just become so, in tune and comforted by discomfort, and then Dog Days obviously alludes to those hot, uncomfortable, sweltering days that you can't escape in the summer.
Today,
it's an odd juxtaposition. But today, is it?
Like
It's 40 something today here in Illinois. So
85 degrees today.
So it was 82 yesterday. Now it's 40. Dropped down 40 degrees. I'm like, what is this crap?
Yep.
It was 70 when we started tonight, and now it's 72. It's getting hotter.
Jeez.
Very confused by my town right now.
Is Isabel produces as well?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think they all, as the albums go on too, they do more. They're not the type of band that just sticks to the one thing that they do that they're comfortable with. They definitely push themselves to learn. I mean, similar to the way James is and you are. They're just constantly evolving, trying to figure out what can I do to kind of get the sound or what I'm looking for to come to fruition. So yeah. I mean, what did you like about this Dog Days song? Because I just overtook the time.
Me?
Both of you.
No, I didn't listen to any of the words because I don't. I like the way it made me feel.
Yeah.
It felt. Ooh, what's the word I want? Cinematic almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that here. I think that they're really good at creating these climaxes and crescendos where they builds up and it drops and it's like emotions. I think that's why the song is this so album. What's that?
I too am good at creating climaxes.
But it's I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Cinematic. It's just really runs you through the gamut of emotions.
I just thought it was a very fun song. I immediately latch on to music that seems like it's fun to play. And that seems like it'd be a very, like, I can see like a group of 4 or 5 people playing that at the Chance in Poughkeepsie and having a great time doing it. What's up?
I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
That's something that I really liked about it. Like, I thought it was one of the songs where everything worked together, where it didn't feel like she was front and center and you can enjoy the entire piece. Yeah. So that was something about it that I really liked.
Have you seen them live, Brian?
No, never. I've never gotten a chance to see them live. I've only seen live concert footage that I've watched. That's how I ended up getting into them. Was a friend of mine, Lee, and Chrissy were into them, and I'd seen live footage that way, and I was like, "Whoa, this is incredible!" And then I ended up getting the album, and just falling in love with it. I would love to see them live, though.
Two questions? Is the personnel live the same as it is on the records, or do they have like a different touring band versus a recording band?
I think it's both. They have their core people, but then they're not shy from bringing up other musicians. So it's almost like Bowie. He may have his core unit, Nails may have his core unit, but like they'll have different people that they'll bring in. So it's kind of cool. It's like a nice mixed bag of bring in what sound you need.
In the other thing I was going to say, in the event they do come around your town, I would make every effort to try and see them, because maybe
absolutely.
This might sound naive of me, but I imagine this would be the kind of place to not play a giant arena, but a small, more intimate venue. Yes. So you probably have a really, really nice show.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Rob, when you said the Chance, I was like, oh, this would be a great band for the Chance.
Perfect place for them. Yeah.
Is that place still open, the Chance?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hasn't fallen down yet?
No. Although I saw Seven Dust there a couple years back, and it was definitely a lot more seedy than I ever allowed myself to remember it.
Oh, it was pretty bad back then.
It was never particularly good.
We were on the balcony because it was too rough on the floor for Sam, and there was literally someone ODing next to us. It's like, oh, this is fun. It's good.
That's the Chance. Yeah. Chance on a Tuesday night.
Yeah. It was a Tuesday.
Seen so many bands there.
You guys saw KMFDM there, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I did.
I've seen
You met Sasha.
who did I see? So Seven Dust with
Imagine
You.
he's a trip
That was
there.
with Nonpoint and Skindred.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Seen Stephen Lynch, the comedian there. I've seen 3 in Coheed. You've seen you guys play there when you played there once or twice, right?
Couple times.
You guys got to watch this Wax Tracks documentary.
I'm not paying the money for it.
Nope.
I will
happening.
sooner buy the documentary from Amazon on a disc and own it because I'll probably enjoy it enough to keep watching it.
Sign up, get your 7 days free, and cancel.
Then I got to remember to cancel. I'm too lazy for that.
Okay,
I gotta choose about 7 days where I could dedicate to getting my
cancel. It's $5 for the month. That's a cost.
no.
I really like.
You
coffee,
just
though.
want someone in your canoe with you. Screw you, man.
I'm gonna watch everything I want to watch and cancel. But the Wax Tracks thing was really fascinating.
I bet it was. I already
Was there a good amount of like Pig KMFDM Ministry, like all those bands that we all want to see?
Ministry. A lot of
No.
Was Raymond in the interview too?
No.
Oh, what?
That's a shame.
That's lame.
There, Trent was there.
Trent was there, but Raymond Watts wasn't. Who
Yep.
was a pinnacle, a height of KMFDM.
Maybe they just couldn't get him. I mean, it's not for probably.
Yeah.
Kanish was there or whatever his name is. A lot of him.
Was there any more KMFDM personnel during that, or
Just Sasha and him. They spoke of Gunter Schultz.
Yeah.
But he wasn't, I don't even know if he's around. And then Trent talked a bit. The Thrill Kill Cult guy I sent you the picture of. He was in.
Groovy Man?
Yeah,
He's a freaking trip.
wow. One of Al Jorgensen, who is just
Oh, he's a trip
a
too.
psychopath.
Is it Al Jorgensen after his daughter called him a sissy for not having any tattoos?
It's Al
Piercings.
Jorgensen
Piercings.
with his eyebrows fully pierced,
Yeah, that's after that.
face and his head tattoo, and then the dreads, and it just
So that occurred because his daughter, I think his
Yep.
like teen daughter, said something like, "Dad, why didn't you have any tattoos? You look like a sissy." And he went out the next day and did all of that
Oh my
in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
Maniac.
and it's sad. I mean, the guys who started it.
Oh, what just happened? Rob just dropped out. Done.
Wow. Like, boom, dropped out.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
dude, can you text him and make sure he's alive?
Yeah, Rob.
So we don't get any grief about that
Yeah,
again.
right. Seriously. What did Dylan say? Dylan said it was 40 in the morning here, 80 after 3 p.m. Whack, North Carolina weather. Oh, there he is. We were just about to text you, see if you're alive.
I pressed the enter button, and that somehow just took me out. I went to chop at the table, and then for some reason I can't recall, and I chopped the enter button next to the number pad. On my
Chop, chop.
and it just everything went away. I didn't. I thought I ended it all.
Oh, man.
Well, it's all good.
Let's get through some other songs so we can talk about the B side. So, Brian, what are some of your other favorites, man? I have too many to talk about, So
Yeah, I bet you do.
Well, I could throw in there because I'm sure Brian has plenty, but I only had Dog Days that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the drumming song. That
Yeah,
was,
the drumming song.
that was a lot of fun for me. That was another one that I felt like the whole band had a seat. It was more enjoyable for me for whatever reason. Just musically, just got to me better.
Well, you can feel her deep passions and the heart that she wears upon her sleeves in that song. I mean, the chorus alone, she's like louder than sirens, louder than bells, sweeter than heaven, and hotter than hell. Like, she just has a way with words and the way she could sing it and just belt it out. So, I mean, just it hits you. She's just a way with words. I mean, it runs the gamut of emotions. And that, yeah, it is an interesting song, the drumming song. I mean, there's a heavy emphasis on drumming. So, when you name a song drumming, it's like, all right, you better bring it because, 4, 5, 6 tracks prior to that, like, you've been bringing the drums and the percussion. So,
It's cool the way that you just mentioned that, like the way that she sings, that she has real passion for everything. And earlier, Rob mentioned Stevie Nicks, because I feel like when you listen to Stevie Nicks, like, she really feels every word she says.
God, she
And
does.
that's a really good correlation with this band. Like, you could really tell, like, that she's living every word.
she sings a song, and it sounds like she's singing. It does. Ooh.
I don't know if I'm just being made fun of right now.
No, not at all. Seriously.
so effortless. He's just like,
Ooh.
Rob, tell us what you really think.
I just love the way you just like,
What'd I do?
it's just the way you say things. It's just amazing. It just comes right out. It's perfect. I mean, there's you guys know.
Not a good thing. That means it just comes from. It doesn't hit my brain. There's no bypass. It's just.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. Do you you guys you both watched that Sound City Reel to Reel, right? The documentary.
Mhm.
Did you watch the you have the soundtrack with the You Can't Fix This? Yeah, You Can't Fix
Mm.
This with Stevie Nicks.
So good.
Such an amazing song. And then there's this one of my favorite movies called The Groomsmen. It's an Ed Burns movie, and the soundtrack, a lot of '90s, but there's a track in there with Stevie Nicks and crap. Give me a minute, it'll come back to me.
I'm not familiar with their work.
Oh God,
Is it her and Kanish?
no, it's not.
Just like a oh God.
We got to do some sort of KMFDM broadcast at some point, guys.
I was
Like,
wearing the FDM shirt today, and then I figured this one was more appropriate.
that band is way too important for us to not be talking about them.
What we're gonna be doing? What are we doing, Van Halen? Hey, we're jumping all around the map.
Van Halen's at the in quite some time.
Yeah.
Next week is a great one. I'm psyched for next week. Totally. If I think it's what it is, if I read the words right. James's mom?
No, James's mom is much later. Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's a great record.
Oh, Jagged Little Pill. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, so drumming. Rob, what were some of your other favorites?
Oh, baby, I didn't think I would. How do I phrase? I wasn't quite open-minded enough to listen because I had preconceived notions. And I'll be very honest. I think this is a good lesson for anyone who's watching this. If you trust one of us in what we like musically, trust all of us. And sometimes I think we're all guilty, myself in this case completely included, having a preconceived notion about something and being initially just putting up a wall before you give it a chance. So I didn't really give everything its proper chance, and I apologize to the audience for that, but I look forward to listening to this and next week having a better answer to that question.
Oh, so you don't even have. So it really is just Dog Days and boom, done.
Yeah, because I like that song for what it was, but I just assumed the rest would be something very different than it turned out to be. So I don't think it's fair for me to have an opinion on something when it's not really fully cooked.
Okay, all right, I got you.
I also, sorry.
No, go ahead, go for it.
I think it's important also sometimes you listen to something and you're like, that's amazing. And then you'll just keep listening to it and not much is really going to change that opinion. You listen to Downward Spiral and who's going to tell you that Downward Spiral is not good? So I think it's also important that if you listen to something and you're not necessarily having the greatest of days, to not form your opinion on, be conscious of the fact that you're not having a good day and that just maybe you're not very receptive to something new right now.
Dude, and I've been, my birthday was last week. It was a crazy week. And then it's just been kind of hectic all weekend onward. So I've been on this like sort of come down, and then I'm kind of stressed about June at the school and what's going to be happening and stuff. So you're 100% right. Like I just wasn't in the headspace to even try.
Because initially, I want to say about like Friday last week, I started listening and it didn't bite me at all. And I didn't know, like the more I listened to it during the work days, I was like, I was having a really hard time latching onto anything. But all of those days I had crappy days at work. So today when I listened to it, it was one of like the first days that I had time to breathe and time to listen and time to appreciate it. And I was like, all right. And that's when I started like hearing things that I hadn't heard before, and giving it that time when I was in a better place mentally made a big difference for me.
Sure.
That's a great point, man. Absolutely. Yeah. If you're not feeling it, and sometimes it's hard to force it, especially in this what we're trying to do. Like it's homework. It's good homework. It's homework nonetheless because you want to get this done so we could talk about it. Especially if you haven't listened to it years, you're not familiar with that at all. But if you're not in that headspace, if you're not in that emotional space, it may not work. Or sometimes it does. It lifts you up. You're like, oh, this is exactly what I needed. I didn't know it. Like this definitely got me in the headspace or in the spot that I needed to be in. So these are great points, man. Yeah.
It like I'm going to use a word. It's a bad word for this, but some stuff isn't topically as accessible or enjoyable, that you have to dig a little bit and give something time to marinate. And I think that's what this is, that it's not just brilliant and overtly brilliant, like something like Downward Spiral or pick an album that we've done that's fantastic. Like White Pony, you can listen to and is a pretty amazing experience, no matter what position you're in mentally.
Well, I think this is. I just think that you got to be in maybe the right headspace for it. I mean, because there's a lot going on musically. I get that it kind of removes itself from what most people are used to, the guitar, bass, and like it doesn't have those heavy emphasis, and presence that you see in some of those instruments and bands. So it's different. I mean, the song Howl is one of my faves too, because the keys are played like percussion, like the hard strikes of the keys in that song. It starts off with like it's like almost like they're punching the piano, and then you hear the low rumbling of the toms and the snare rolls that bring in the thunderous sounds and beats, and then she just gently weaves in her voice, and then it becomes so Howl. You're like, oh, where's this going? So the title like Howl, you don't expect it to start that way. And you're like, okay, maybe some, but it just becomes ferocious, and she even talks about how like it's
fuck.
What happened?
I hit my leg in the corner of the desk. It hurt me.
Yeah.
Cursed.
I mean, if you listen to the lyrics, the first verse, it's just like I'm in, because like as a horror fan and just the lover of reading, she goes, if you could only see the beast you've made of me, I held it, I held it in, but now it seems you've set it running free. Screaming in the dark, I howl when we're apart. Drag my teeth across your chest to taste your beating heart. I'm like, shit. That's good. And then I was like, I got to do a deep dive in this. I got like, where is her head at? Is there any interviews that she kind of mentions this? Because like, that's powerful. Like right off the first verse, I'm in. Like that's reading the first chapter of the book. Well, now I got to keep going. Like this is the first paragraph. And she said, I was really in an intense emotional state for this one. I'd been drunk and so badly behaved that I felt like a beast. I felt feral. I was thinking about the extremes you go to when you're in love, the way it takes over and how they turns into wanting to rip and tear. And young love starts off so instant, but then you make mistakes and it becomes sordid sometimes. So, and it's dangerous. And I think that kind of like is a great way to kind of talk about this album. It's just like, she just writes about the gamut of emotions that one goes through with love. Love could be this great ever-changing thing. It could be something that damages you. It's something that inspires you and uplifts you. It's something that some people never recover from. Love lost sometimes can break you, and you carry
Absolutely.
on, but like you're a different man or a different woman afterwards. So love is this all-encompassing, powerful thing that, we don't really truly understand. We're intoxicated by it. It's one of the best drugs there is. It's one of the most powerful things there is. I thought that was great, the way she writes this music, just the different emotions around love, and love lost.
You know what,
Yeah.
dude? Like, I feel like too, like, and we've done some wacky stuff along the way here. We did Bjork, we did Grimes, we went.
Yeah.
Dick, I feel like this may be the furthest from the center record we've done yet, including those other records. Because those
really, see, I think Bjork would be. No way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bjork,
No,
100%.
Bjork still has the structure. There's still, I don't know, like.
No, there were times when Bjork was hard for me to listen to and get into. Like, no,
Yeah.
You just got to look no further, man. It's right there.
Look no farther.
That was a long setup for that joke. Sorry.
It was.
Was that really the point to get there?
Come on.
Of course it was. I was like, there's no way you believe that Bjork.
Dude. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Whew.
I didn't know Rob could speak cursive, Dylan said.
I am shocked and awed by the craftsmanship of that joke. Well done.
Very good.
Sometimes when you're not prepared for work, you have to make up for it in other ways. Sometimes you got to bring the boss some cookies. It's just how it works.
Well, I mean, I hope I sold you guys. I mean, give it a listen. Really listen to it again. Listen to it in your different headspace. I mean,
I look forward to it. I really, really do. Just like
I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. It's great. There's certain albums too that are good summer feels. I think with the nice weather coming up. Like listen to this. I think it'll put you in a good spot.
Cool.
Even though it's about heartbreak a lot of times too.
I think it's heartbreak sometimes presented in a lighter fashion that makes it you can smile while you're having your heart broken.
Yeah, for sure. I love this album. I can't say enough good things about it.
that excites me. That I'm telling you, just like as I tried to say casually earlier, just like as a fan of you and your taste, two individuals who shaped my musical palette to a large degree. I'm excited to listen to this with the right headspace. It's juicy.
Thank you. Well, I mean, James got me to really try Bjork because initially I listening to Bjork before James reintroduced me to it. I'm like, yeah, nope, don't get it. I didn't give it enough time. And then just seeing James
It's
be so
really
passionate about
hard.
something, and I'm like, why? What is there? I got to dig a little deeper. Like, why is this guy like this so much? And then I found it. Definitely not as passionately in love with it as much as he is, but I definitely appreciate it a great deal, and I put it on from time to time. But yeah,
It's funny. We just like this microsecond that we're talking about Bjork. The first thing that came to my mind was Venus as a Boy, and I have that playing in my head right now. So happy.
I have Play Dead in my head right now, and I'm equally elated.
I'm so happy. I love that song. I'm sorry.
No, I have The Hunter. I don't know why.
That's a great song. All
See?
3 of these songs, people, great songs. Listen to Play Dead, Venus as a Boy, and Hunter. 3 fantastic songs, and they don't sound anything alike.
No. You're like, is this the same artist? Yeah, it is.
All right, you want to jump to the B-side here? We got
B-side!
So who's going to set it up?
So 3 pieces of media that all you music fans and lovers of art should be aware of. Last week, during our episode of Dream Theater, we Images and Words, we gave one. I talked about Metal, A Headbanger's Journey, the documentary on metal, heavy metal. James, you mentioned what?
Year and a half in the life of Metallica.
Right. And then Rob, you had a book? Was it a book?
Hired Gun. I did
Hired Gun.
Yeah.
Which James watched because of me, so thank you.
Yeah. I don't think I could find Metal. I looked for it, and I don't think it's on Prime.
Is it not? I have a
That's
hard copy.
That's the first place I went for it. Yeah.
I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. It's amazing though. I highly recommend it. It's if
Kids
you guys
so
are fans of metal, you want to
it.
learn. So good. I mean, it has a whole thing about like the whole like subgenre of death metal and the controversy surrounding that, and some of the crazy effed up things that have happened in that subgenre.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's great. It's great interviews. There's having the DVD is nice because it has all the extras too, and extended interviews with some of the artists and really good stuff. Rob, go first. If you got something, baby.
Want to do the clockwise round robin?
You know what? I didn't even grab any of my stuff. Damn it.
Oh no!
Go run and grab it.
I'm gonna grab it.
Rob, go for it.
We can't go, Ryan. That's rude.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Hi, James.
Hey, Rob, what's going on?
Pretty.
Back.
I'm playing a game where a character has just eaten his own sister.
Ooh.
He ate her to absorb her power.
Nice.
Did he cook her or ate her raw?
No, he ate her raw.
So that's
Character's like 7 years old, and he has like Medusa eyes that he petrifies people. It's crazy. Anyway, so what do you got?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're a fan of music,
I am.
If you're a fan of music, then you got to be a fan of this band. And if you're not a fan of this band, you're a jackass.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin put out this book.
Oh.
And it is a beautiful presentation. It was costly. I don't even know if it's
that is a large book.
But oh my God, the photographs of just like okay, we've all seen the picture of them standing outside the plane, but then there's like the frames before and after it, and it's broken down into stuff from each. Like this was on the Led Zeppelin 3 tour.
Oh man!
And it goes from Zeppelin 1 all the way through Coda, and then even into the Swans. What was it called when they got back together for that thing?
The Page and Plant tour you're talking about?
No, that doesn't count because I wasn't there. When they got back together in 2007 with Jason Bonham.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
Celebration Day is what they called the record they made from it.
The Mothership or something like that.
I don't know, but just look how happy they are. Jimmy Page even managed to open his eyes. Just
that's an immense book.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. There's got to be so much in that.
And it's not a ton of words. It's just real photographs. Like I have a Jimmy Page book that has like a lot of explanations. This is literally just a photography book.
Just eye candy.
And
that's awesome.
Like a bigger picture from the
yeah,
with the bottoms. But yeah, it just as a fan of music and a music historian, liking to know where things came from. Of an era that I'll never get to experience because I wasn't alive, to be able to see pictures like this feels like you're there, almost more so even than a video, because some of these photographs are so iconic. But to get to see in that series of film, the 7 before and the 7 after tells such a big picture of what was happening in that. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dig back, guys. You'll see that we did House is the Holy. We did that episode. It's a great record.
It was a good one.
House is the Holy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. James, what you got, baby?
So my list changed as I went, but this is one thing that I got. This is the Blu-ray of Giaco. This is Robert Trujillo's film on Jaco Pastorius.
Brilliant.
I got into this. This happened to be on Netflix right when I started playing bass with Heat Exchange. It seemed like required viewing because I knew of Giaco, but I couldn't name you anything that he'd been involved with, or like I couldn't tell you what he sounded like as a musician. And this Blu-ray, this movie, is so fascinating and so amazing to watch and so heartbreaking to watch, because I feel like you could watch him and know he was a troubled person and a difficult person, but talent that was off the scale. Like no one has found the end of the scale of what his talent was. He was so great. And to see the musicians on this talking about him as though he were a god when we would look at them as gods, I think is very, very, speaks volumes about how he was as a player and as a musician, that he knew what was going to happen before it happened. It was like he was, I don't know, what's the word?
Nostradamus.
No, not Nostradamus. Never. He could just almost predict the next part of a piece of music. And he just, but that's
Precog.
Nah, it's not important. The word isn't important. It's important to watch him. And there's one person, the drummer from Earth, Wind and Fire, said that he met him at one point, and Giaco was very arrogant, that he used to introduce himself and shake people's hands and say, "My name's John Francis Pastorius III, and I'm the greatest bass player in the world." And he was. But the drummer from Earth, Wind and Fire found him one day and said something like, "Why don't you get your bass and we'll see how good you are?" And he said, "I got to get you a record deal. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a musician or not. Everyone needs to understand how great you are at this."
Wow.
And he was.
It's a great documentary, it sounds like, man. I gotta check it out.
I think it's still on Netflix, or no?
Is it?
It's you can't find it anywhere. I had to buy the Blu-ray because I couldn't find it streaming anywhere. And it's absolutely worth it. And you see him fall apart throughout the years, because there was, at the time when he was alive, there wasn't treatment for the condition that he had that made him the way he was. And he died for it. It's very, very sad to watch, but it's absolutely amazing to watch.
It was interesting when I watched it because I didn't understand to the degree of how troubled mental illness, stuff he was dealing with. And you see it in interviews, and you see it towards the end, and it's so painfully obvious, and just no one could help him. It just
And on top of that, I think a little bit because of his personality, even if the help was there, I'm pretty sure he would also just be like, "I don't need that. I'm good." Like he was so stubborn, but he was amazing. Yep. Anyway, so that's Giaco. Brian, what do you got?
Wow, that's a good one. I want to see that now. I definitely want to see that.
I'll mail it to you.
I can't remember. I watched one about Singer to the Bad Brains. That was a good documentary too. Mental illness. I can't remember the name of it. It was good though. I picked Nine Inch Closure. And
VHS too.
Yeah.
That never got a re-release, did it?
Rob's got the great story to that. So years later, it was supposedly accidentally leaked onto the internet, but the message that came along with it seemed like Trent purposely did that because there was just too many legalities just trying to step in the way of putting that out there. And he was like, "Well, you know what? Fuck it." So it's out there. DVD
version of it.
Yeah.
Someone burned that and packaged it to look like that, but of course that's the one with the sleeve. It was just attention to detail. Yeah, talk about it. Oh my god.
Double VHS. So it's a double VHS. There you go. Oh, look at that.
Dude, I'm looking at that. I can smell what that smells.
Same.
Just oh my god.
Yeah. It's in pristine condition too, as my stuff is. So it's cool, and because Russell Mills does some amazing artwork, and you guys can go onto Russell Mills' website and you can see some of the artwork because there's supposed to be a live album attached to this project, and it just fell through. And you can see the artwork for that, and it's pretty killer. It's got this little clear acetate cover. It's great. It's a double VHS set, and it came out in '94. The first tape played out like a visceral open wound of a documentary that allowed the fan a peek into the Self-Destruct tour, which, wrap your head around this, it went from March of 1994 to February of 1995. So they toured relentlessly for that expanse of time. And it shows you live performances, shows you what was happening afterwards. It shows you just the hurt they put upon themselves every night, just as musicians do, but also because they were so destructive. And then the second tape was a compilation of videos. Just different videos that were up to that point that had come out, just professional videos. There's some of those ones on there from Broken and things like that.
So a lot of stuff from Broken, a lot of videos from Broken.
Yeah, which, I mean, if you really want to get deep, getting that Broken movie is pretty good too. Want to watch that faux snuff film?
Yeah, it's a disturbing one.
It's a rough one. Yeah, but it's a great documentary. And it's done so well. Like, even if you don't watch it, just having it on in the background, the soundtrack that they create for this is amazing. And just the noise, because that really got me into every possible single released during this album and how they would deconstruct things. So, like, Further Down the Spiral has like 3 different iterations of it, and just trying to find that one where, like, the scream where they take apart the Downward Spiral song. I was like, yeah. I'm like, where's that one? And it was a UK edition. Finally found it for like $30. So it's like, there's just so much to unpack in that. It's
import
great.
section of Tower.
Yeah, baby. This is a giant metal tin from the UK.
I found that recently without actually even looking for it. I kind of came across it by accident on YouTube. The entire first VHS is available on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's been uploaded a couple times in like full HD, and it's awesome to watch.
It
brought me back so much. It's great.
Oh yeah. Mine. I have in my storage place. I have it. I have brought some of like the James, when he moved, he gave me the one VHS. I have that, and then I have from you. You gave me A Decade of Decadence, Motley Crue. I have those here for people to see, but that's in a safe place. Like, I don't want the sun touching that. I don't want that to get.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can see it. I mean, the color is perfect on this thing.
From watching that, like, it made, because that's in the same era in my life where, I'm starting playing guitar. So 1.5 years of life in Metallica is probably equally as valuable in my formation as
Halo 12
was.
Yeah.
I was going to say the same thing.
And both, ironically, double VHS, packing.
Mm-hmm.
But many years later, I was at for the NAMM show. Different guitar companies have parties, after parties, and Schecter Guitars had an after party that was sponsored by Jägermeister, and Robin was at the time maybe still endorsed by Schecter. So this was a party, dude, where there was like Tommy Lee was the DJ, and there was a giant ice sculpture that they were pouring Jaeger down, and you would drink the Jaeger as it cooled down the ice sculpture. And this is like the Saturday before we go home. So just like complete and utter idiocy. And Robin was there, and he's tall, very tall, taller than I'm tall. And I didn't even know how to approach him, even though I was so banged up in my head, because the way he appeared so crazy in that movie, which is really my only experience. I never saw him play with them until more recently. Yeah, crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great documentary. It's good. I think it shows you, it breaks the boundaries of what you think of documentary should be, or has been, or would normally be. And it's a visceral wound. It's fun to watch. It's
funny note on that. Up until recently, when Nine Inch Nails was inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they did that live stream, I always thought when they talked about the guy who broke his finger, or like who broke the tip of his thumb, I always thought that was Trent.
Oh, did you?
I always thought that was Trent. I never knew it was Robin. That he and it was like turning like a TV on or off or something like that. He said that he like fell across the bus and broke the tip of his thumb off or something.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that it was him. It was pretty funny.
It was the TV that took you out, not the mic stands that were flying at your heads.
Yeah, right. 15-pound mic stand base flying across the stage at speed. It was damn TVs.
Like, that taught me what a Nine Inch Nails show was supposed to be like. And I never saw Nine Inch Nails live until when we saw them at Hammerstein, and you and I, Brian, were on the floor. I think James was on the balcony.
Yep.
And I didn't know what to expect, like, is Trent going to break stuff or whatever? And remember, something went wrong during Line Begins to Blur, and he just thrashed stuff. And I was like, yes, he's still the same guy. It's okay.
Such a perfectionist. And when that perfection is tested, oof.
I saw an interview with him that was filmed around the same time as a lot of the interview clips in Closure, where I think it was like Tabitha Soren asked him a question on MTV, like, what is the deal with you guys always breaking all of your equipment? He's like, the moment you push a key on a piano and it does not respond, it has humiliated you and must suffer. And I thought that was a fantastic response, because I feel like with like the level of like proficiency he has, like the moment he goes to hit a key and it doesn't work, it's over for that piano. Like it's going to fly off the stand. All of the keys are coming off. And it was just very fun to watch.
Well, it's like watching him, master conductor. I mean, he does. I don't think people realize like how much he puts into the sound, the visuals of things. Like he is always pushing. You can watch numerous videos of him just being every step of the way involved in the stage setup and everything. He's not the guy that's like, all right, I'm the act, I'll go on when it's all ready. Like he has his hand in everything. And when one thing doesn't work to the vision of which he's portrayed in his head, all bets are off, man.
It looks like chaos. It's very well controlled, and he's very mad when it doesn't work out.
Yes.
I like doing this. We should save the third one for next time. I think.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because we all have certain things that I think were super important to us in different phases of our lives.
For
and
sure.
it's good for other people to know about. Definitely.
I mean, I have too many of these guys.
I have other choices, so it's could almost be like a weekly.
So yeah, next week we'll do a B-side and we'll do our third one. I already have my third one all lined up.
I have two. I don't know what the hell to do with these two.
Well, you do it next week, goddammit. We
How
could
do
push
I
it further.
pick?
So we do the B-side, it goes out 2 more episodes, and I'll just I'll find a fourth. It doesn't matter to me. I did find it was Jon Stewart, and the song was Gold off of the Groomsmen, and Stevie Nicks is the backup singer for that. And if you guys have not heard that song Gold by Jon Stewart with Stevie Nicks, you're doing yourself a disservice if you
Like
don't
the
search it
Daily
out.
Show, Jon Stewart.
No, not Jon Stewart. The Daily Show. Could you imagine?
Full disclosure, that is the first thing that I thought of.
Yeah, I think most people do.
You said it so matter of factly, like there's.
I know. Yeah, why not? Jon Stewart, Daily Show, Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks and Craig Kilborn.
Craig Kilborn, whatever happened to that guy?
Oh man,
Isn't he the singer for Queens of the Stone Age?
I think he might.
That's what happened to him.
Totally.
It's good. That was good. Wow.
James, that was fast. Good for you.
It was, man.
Yeah.
For years, I couldn't figure out who Josh Homme and Kilborn looked like.
The same. It's Clark Kent and Superman. That's what it is.
Never in the same room at the same time.
He goes down to Joshua Tree, he spins around a few times, and then he's fucking Josh.
I just put it together just now. I'm so happy.
I have tears. James.
I can't breathe.
Oh, shit.
All
That was
right.
good, man. You quick on your feet.
Yeah.
Put up the record talk, Phil.
God.
Man.
All right.
Okay. Good talk, guys.
Yeah, that was good, James.
Yeah, that's definitely our highlight clip for this episode.
Yeah.
Chop that up right away. Boom.
Woo.
All right. Well, next week we're talking about Alanis Morissette.
Robots and Empire. Wait, no, sorry. Go ahead.
I think we're talking about STP Purple.
No, it's
It's
Alanis.
Vitology, right?
Yeah.
No code.
What is that? Another Pearl Jam album? I really don't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
20
10? Can we talk about 10? What you guys already did a thing about 10, didn't you?
I thought about it again.
No, we never did 10. Did we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
we
think you did
did.
10.
That's right. Yeah, early on.
We should do verses. Do verses.
Let's do verses. Yeah.
I don't like verses.
Why? Yes, you might. You just don't know.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, you don't know anything about this, and you're like, I gotta listen to this again.
Rearview Mirror. You know that song?
Yeah.
Animal.
Daughter.
That's a Pearl Jam song?
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
I'm just firing him up. That's all.
Okay. You want to fire him up? Go into Page and Plan. I mean, come on.
One of the best Pearl Jam songs ever. Leash. Yeah, that's it, right? Drop the leash. Yeah, that's on that record.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know it either, see?
There's so much.
Just because they have endless, and he's got all those live albums where they were like releasing every show live on CD. I was in the Village one time, and this guy had every single one. He had every single one, and if I had enough money, I would have got it free. I was like, God damn, that's awesome.
I forgive you, but I appreciate the thought. You know what the best song on 10 is?
Even Flow.
State of Love and Trust. It's not on
Even Flow.
State of Love and Trust. State of
Even
Love and
Flow.
Trust makes me Even Flow is when you go get a beer and make a pee.
No, even flow makes me so joyous.
Yeah, but they stretch it, man, live. It's
You're talking to a hardcore fan there.
pee break.
Hey, break.
I don't know. I was at a Starbucks one morning at like 7:00 in the morning, and Even Flow came on, and I was instantly like in 1990, whatever that album came out at, and I was so
Starbucks
happy.
is beautiful, but at a Pearl Jam show, you're like, damn it, that's another song that's not going to happen because they're playing Even Flow again. Because that's what you're doing as you're watching a Pearl Jam show. You're keeping track mentally. Okay, we've been here for an hour and a half, and this, and this has happened, which means probably this, and this won't happen.
Does Pearl Jam play with an opener still, or do they do like the Black Album Metallica thing and just play for 3 hours straight?
It depends on the tour.
But they do that on occasion?
Yeah. You want to know
That's
something
awesome.
crazy on a Pearl Jam story real fast? Because we're over time.
Sorry.
I've been to so many Pearl Jam things I've forgotten. I know Pearl Jam has played Black Diamond only 2 times live. Both times I've seen them play Black Diamond. It's a Kiss song. And Matt Cameron sings it. The first time was at Madison Square Garden. I was there. I went to the Chinese restaurant before. If anyone's been to Madison Square Garden with me, you know that means that I drank 2 for $1 drinks.
Chef Hughes, right?
Yeah, good man.
Oh, I love Chef Hughes.
Oh, James.
What?
Together? Or you just know?
No, we've been a couple times, you and I.
Aw.
I love that
So
place.
Ace Frehley came out and played it with them. But I didn't know that. How disappointing.
You didn't know that Ace Frehley came out?
I did. It wasn't in my brain. I mean, I probably knew it in the moment, but just something in my brain lost it. And
Well,
I
2 for $1
recently-
drinks were also in your brain.
Yeah,
The great black hole.
yeah, man. Pork dumplings and Long Island iced tea.
Oh man, like I
What a
can
mix.
literally I can't get New York style Chinese food out in Arizona, and like my mouth, I can taste that lo mein right now.
Oh, Chef you.
I hope they survived COVID.
I was just thinking that.
Oh man.
Well,
Anyway, sorry.
We were all over the map today.
I'm happy about that.
I am too.
I think we talked about a record you know and love, and you explained it in a way that made others want to care about it in a great way, as they should. And we had tons of nostalgia, and James was a funny mother, so it's a good
Yeah,
day.
he was. Which just all started with his mother too. So it was a nice full circle.
That's how life begins. Man.
Was this the Your Mom episode, or I don't even know.
Maybe, yeah, this may be the James.
This is your mom episode. It's a secret episode. It's your mom.
Craig Kilborn is Josh Homme. Oh man.
So great.
Dude, I saw him at a coffee shop one time. What if I went up to him and I asked him, like, why did you leave the Daily Show? And he's like, what?
I wonder if he's gotten that before, that he might just like punch
bet.
you in the face.
How
but
could he
like,
not? I mean,
How do you
he'd probably
not?
be one to punch someone in the face. I mean, honestly, they're both ridiculously tall. It's the same guy.
the same jaw structure, same everything. They look very similar.
Pull one over on us. That's what it is.
Well, until next time, friends.
Take us out.
Yeah.
Thought it was going to be Michael Bolton for a minute.
No, Bolton.